We are about to lose a year. It is finished. It is gone. You will never see those hours again. That sunrise will not repeat itself for your convenience. God has already closed the book on yesterday, and the ink is dry. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Ephesians 5:14-16 says, "Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." Read that in your heart and let it sting you into sobriety. Be careful how you live. Why? Because time is leaking while you negotiate with procrastination. Write this down. Productivity without purpose is just organized wasting. Schedules without assignment are calendars of distraction. To-do lists without destiny are cleverly arranged delays. The clock is not your enemy. Confusion is. The problem is not that you had no time. The problem is that time had no master. This next year will not manage itself. Minutes are like servants. They obey the last command you gave them. If you gave them nothing, they return to you empty. Say this out loud. Redeem the time. Again, redeem the time. To redeem means to own again, to repossess what was lost, to buy back the opportunity you forfeited to fear and indecision. You cannot change yesterday, but you can purchase tomorrow with today. Psalm 90:12 says, "Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom." Number means account, audit, assign. Wisdom is not knowing many things. Wisdom is doing the right thing with limited time. Time is a currency. Time is a contract. Time is a test. Time is a teacher. Time is God's mercy wrapped in minutes, giving you another chance to align with His purpose. You spent 365 days at some store. What did you buy? Character or excuses? Formation or entertainment? Intimacy with God or intimacy with distraction? You become what you buy with your hours. And here is the mercy. The store opens again today. So I ask you, and don't dodge the question, what are you going to do with the next 12 months? Not what are you going to dream about, talk about, or post about. What will you do by date and by design? What will you present on December 31 as evidence that you did not waste breath? Make this personal. See your face in that mirror. Hear the seconds ticking like footsteps behind you. Plan your year, or someone else will rent it from you at a discount and pay you with regret. Write this down. You cannot drift into destiny. You must decide into destiny. Redeem the time. Own it. Name it. Aim it. The past is sealed, but your next sunrise is negotiable. God has given you another day. Do not return it to Him unspent. Now hear me. The most common gift God ever gave any human is time, not money, not connections. Time. 24 hours to the billionaire and 24 hours to the beggar. The old and the young, the educated and the untrained, the CEO in the penthouse and the janitor on the night shift, God issues the same daily deposit. Genesis 1:14 says He set lights to mark seasons and days and years. He does not consult your background to decide your allotment. He consults His purpose. Read out loud, go. Equal hours, unequal outcomes. Write this down. Time is a currency. Hours are coins. Minutes are money. Every morning, God places 1,440 minutes in the wallet of your life, and by midnight, He audits your purchases. What did you buy today? You become what you buy with your hours. If you spend them on complaining, you purchase more problems. If you invest them in understanding, you buy clarity. If you save them for intimacy with God, you purchase wisdom. Ephesians 5:16 commands, redeem the time. Why? Because if you don't, someone else will spend it for you. Let me correct a myth right now. You are not behind because of background. You are behind because of purchases. The man who grew while you stole did not have a different God. He had a different receipt. While you bought 3 hours of scrolling, he bought 3 chapters of study. While you bought fear through procrastination, she bought courage through small, dated actions. Time will sell you anything on the shelf. Discipline or distraction, prayer or pretense, skill or gossip. Your future is not held hostage by your past. It is held hostage by your spending habits. Name your thieves. Distraction the pickpocket with soft hands. Indecision, the silent embezzler that signs nothing but empties the account. People-pleasing, the friendly fraud who forges your signature on commitments you never prayed about. Galatians 1:10 asks, am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? If your calendar answers man, your destiny is being shoplifted. James 1:8 calls the double-minded unstable in all his ways. Indecision is expensive. It charges interest every hour you delay. Write this down. Stewardship is personal. No one can manage your time for you. Not your spouse, not your boss, not your pastor. Psalm 39:4-5 says, Lord, make me to know my end and the measure of my days. Surely every man at his best state is altogether vanity. That is not to depress you. It is to deliver you. Your days are measured. Therefore, your minutes must be managed. Plan your spending before the store opens. Put price tags on your priorities. Guard your wallet. Wake up. Redeem the time. Own it. Align it. Convert it. Because destiny is purchased in hours and the register is ringing right now. Let's anchor this. Not in trends or tips, but in the mind of God. Read out loud, go. And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Genesis 1:14. Write this down. God created time. God does not live in time. He uses time. Time is not your prison. It is His program. Time is an interruption in eternity, a slice of forever. God cut out and handed to humanity so we could mature without being destroyed by perfection too soon. Why is that important? Because if you think time is random, you will treat it casually. But if you understand time is a divine device, you will steward it reverently. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, He has made everything beautiful in its time. The word beautiful there means mature, complete, fully ripe. God hides maturity in minutes. He wraps your development in days. He seasons your destiny through years. Time is the oven of character. Rush it and you eat dough. Delay it and you burn purpose. Redeem the time. Job 14:5 declares, a man's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. Limits are not cruelty. Limits are clarity. God sets borders around your breath to create urgency for your becoming. Psalm 39:4-5 prays, Lord, make me to know my end and the measure of my days. Let me know how fleeting I am. Surely every man at his best state is altogether vanity. When you know your measure, you manage your minutes. When you feel your finiteness, you focus your faithfulness. Wake up. Redeem the time. Time is God's mercy organized. Time is eternity's training ground. Time is the classroom where grace graduates you from intention to obedience. And hear me carefully. Treating time lightly is not just inefficient, it is irreverent. It is a theological mistake. To squander hours is to despise the instrument God built for your sanctification. When you procrastinate on purpose, you are not only late to meetings, you are late to maturity. When you ignore Sabbath, you do not just court burnout, you insult the cadence of the Creator who rested to model stewardship. Write this down. Time management is spiritual stewardship. You are not arranging a busy life, you are aligning a holy life. When you plan, you honor providence. When you prioritize, you agree with purpose. When you protect your calendar, you protect your calling. God lives outside the clock, but He formed you to mature inside it. Therefore, manage minutes as sacred trust. Own them, align them, convert them into obedience. Because in this slice of forever, you are being fashioned for eternity, and eternity is watching how you spend today. Write this down. Activity without assignment is noise. Motion is not progress. Busyness is not fruitfulness. Crowded calendars are not crowns of wisdom. Psalm 90:12 says, teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Number means assign, allot, arrange, under authority. Wisdom means selecting the right thing at the right time for the right reason. Hear me. Until your why governs your what and your when, you are simply organizing your distractions. Redeem the time. Purpose is the why. Purpose is the original intent in the mind of God that explains why you exist. Purpose is the invisible compass that decides your direction before your feet move. It is the law that tells your schedule who is boss. Proverbs 19:21 declares, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Plans are many, purpose is one. Plans change with trends. Purpose stands with truth. Write this down. Purpose decides, plans obey. Purpose answers two ruthless questions before you touch a task. Why this? Why now? Hustle fills calendars. Stewardship aligns calendars. Hustle says do more. Stewardship says do what matters. Hustle bows to urgency. Stewardship bows to assignment. Jesus himself lived by purpose, not pressure. In John 7:6 he said, my time is not yet come. That is purpose speaking opportunity. Not every door is your direction. Not every need is your assignment. Galatians 1:10 confronts our disease. Am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Write this down and engrave it on your phone, your fridge, your forehead if you must. Do not try to please everyone. Destiny demands discrimination. If you try to please everyone, you will fail the one who sent you. So here is the law for your to-do list. Before you write it, submit it. Ask 3 questions of every item. Does this advance my God-given assignment? Is this the right season for it? What measured fruit will exist by a date on the calendar because of this? If the answer is vague, the task is vanity. If the fruit is not dated, it is fantasy. Ephesians 5:15-16 says, be careful then how you live, redeeming the time. Careful means intentional. Redeeming means owning, aligning, converting. Convert minutes into mission. Translate seconds into significance. If it does not serve purpose, delete it. If it can be done by someone else, delegate it. If it is good but not for now, delay it. Write this down. Order is mercy. Boundaries are love for your calling. The most spiritual word some of you need this year is no. No to flattery that steals hours. No to meetings that do not move the mission. No to the addiction of being needed. Why? Because your yes is holy. Your yes spends life. Let purpose be your accountant. Let destiny be your editor. Wake up. Redeem the time. And let purpose sit on the throne of your productivity so that by December 31, your receipts say obedience, not busyness. Read out loud. Go. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Ephesians 5:15-17. That is not a suggestion. That is a summons. Be careful. Redeem the time. Understand the Lord's will. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. The days are evil, but your hours can be redeemed. Evil is aggressive. Distraction is organized. Passivity is expensive. But wisdom can purchase back what waste has pawned. Redeem the time. Write this down. To redeem means to own again, to buy back, to repossess what was stolen. Stolen by indecision. Stolen by entertainment without edification. Stolen by other people's emergencies, masquerading as your assignment. Redemption is not a feeling, it is a transaction. You walk into the pawn shop of procrastination and you buy back your minutes with decisions. You take title to your hours. You put your name on your day. And then you convert those reclaimed minutes into purpose-aligned outcomes. Ownership without conversion is just pride on a planner. Redemption requires results. Here are your 3 imperatives. And I want you to engrave them into your daily rhythm. Document the plan. Establish your priorities. Protect your plans. Document a plan means write it, date it, and define the fruit. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision. Make it plain. If it is not documented, it is negotiable. If it is not dated, it is fantasy. Establish your priorities means arrange your actions in the order heaven approves, not culture applauds. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and let lesser goods wait their turn. Protect your plans means build fences around your focus. Say no without apology. Place meetings under mission, and do not try to please everyone. If you cannot guard your calendar, you cannot guard your calling. Time is a currency. Treated like capital. Hours are not to be hoarded. They are to be invested. Invest in what is eternal and essential, not merely urgent. Urgency shouts. Essence compounds. Urgent is the stock that spikes and crashes. Eternal is the bond that matures forever. Jesus said, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy. Matthew 6:20. Pray early, that is equity. Study faithfully, that is equity. Build skill. Serve your assignment. Cultivate covenant relationships. That is equity. Gossip is a liability. Endless scrolling is a depreciating asset. Meetings without mission are calendar theft. Calculate your ROI, return on immortality. Will this hour yield fruit that survives fire? I sat with a young man, let's call him Caleb, drowning in demands. We opened his week like an accountant opens books. We repossessed 10 hours from noise, 2 from late night shows, 3 from aimless chats, 5 from meetings he never should have accepted. We reinvested them. Scripture, skill, practice, service in his lane. 90 days later, he had a certificate in his hand, a team he discipled, and a habit of dawn prayer. Nothing magical happened. Redemption happened. He owned, aligned, converted. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Redeem the time. Document a plan. Establish your priorities. Protect your plans. The days are evil, but your hours are negotiable. Do not be foolish. Understand what the Lord's will is. Stop renting your minutes to the urgent. Sell them to your assignment. Invest them unto God. Own again what drift has taken. Repossess what fear has leased. Convert what remains into obedience today. Teach us to number our days. Read out loud, go. Teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Psalm 90:12. Write this down. A new year is not fireworks and confetti. A new year is a holy reset to refine purpose and reframe priorities. Genesis 1:14 says, God set lights for seasons and days and years. Seasons are God's mercy organized. Ecclesiastes 3 declares there is a time for every purpose under heaven. A new year is heaven's reminder to bring purpose under time. This is not about hype. This is about stewardship. Wake up. Redeem the time. Write this down. Vision that is not calendarized is fantasy. Date your destiny. Habakkuk 2:2 commands. Write the vision. Make it plain. So we are going to make it plain and make it dated. Craft 3 to 5 destiny-aligned outcomes you will present to God and to your assignment by December 31. Measurable, dated, accountable. For example, by December 31, I will complete and submit my professional certification exam score, documented, credential in hand. By December 31, I will save $8,000 automatic transfer set, statement printed. By December 31, I will launch and sustain a weekly discipleship group, 40 sessions completed, 10 people grounded in Scripture. By December 31, I will write 180 pages toward the book God assigned me, deliverable formatted. These are not wishes, these are purchases. What will you buy with your hours by December 31? Write it down. Now structure it like God structures time. Break the year into 4 9 0-day seasons. Quarter 1, foundation. Quarter 2, build. Quarter 3, multiply. Quarter 4, harvest and present. Assign your outcomes to quarters. Do not crowd every dream into Q1. Wisdom paces destiny. If you have 4 outcomes, pair 1 or 2 with each quarter. Dates are fences that protect focus. Ecclesiastes 3:1 again, there is a season for every purpose. Give each purpose its season. Translate outcomes into projects and projects into weekly commitments. A project is a bundle of tasks with a deadline and a deliverable. Weekly commitments are the recurring time blocks that convert intention into evidence. Luke 14:28 asks, which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost? Count the cost in hours. If your Q1 outcome is certification, your project plan might read, register by January 15, complete modules by February 28, practice exams by March 15, test on March 28, weekly commitments, 5 study blocks of 90 minutes, 1 accountability call, 1 Sabbath. If your Q2 outcome is a discipleship group, your project plan, curriculum finalized by April 10, venue secured by April 15, launch April 20, weekly commitments, Tuesday prep 60 minutes, Thursday group 90 minutes, Saturday follow-up 45 minutes. Put it in the calendar. Protect it with boundaries. Review it every Sunday evening. If it is not on a week, it is not in your life. Write this down. Plan the year. Assign the quarter. Design the projects. Block the weeks. Guard the days. Then pray over it. Submit it. Ephesians 5:16. Redeem the time. This is your covenant with your calendar. By December 31, what evidence will you bring? Date your destiny. Present your receipts. And let heaven say, well spent. Write this down. A stewarded day is pre-decided, prioritized, and protected. If you don't decide your day before dawn, someone else will rent it by noon. So we start where kings start, on our knees. Read out loud, go. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up and prayed. Mark 1:35. Morning alignment sets the compass before tasks set the speed. Psalm 5:3 says, in the morning I lay my request before you and wait expectantly. Before you check a phone, check the throne. Before you open the inbox, open the scriptures. Give God the first word so the world doesn't get the last. 5 moves at dawn. Scripture, silence, supplication, submission, strategy. Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom, then plan from that. Presence. Now, choose your big 3. Write this down. Every day has a mission. 3 outcomes, not 30 activities. Outcomes redeem. Activities distract. Ask. If only 3 things get done today, which 3 will convert minutes into destiny-aligned fruit? Make them measurable and date it by the clock. By 5 p.m., draft chapter 2. By 2:30 p.m., submit proposal. By 11 a.m., train the team. Put the big 3 at the top of your planner under the words, redeem the time. Your yes is a purchase order. Spend it where destiny compounds. Work in 9 0-minute focus blocks. Why? Because depth demands devotion. Nehemiah said, I am doing a great work and cannot come down. Nehemiah 6:3. That is a focus block. Close the door. Silence notifications. Put the phone in another room. Give God and your assignment the gift of an undivided mind. Then a brief renewal. Walk, water, worship, and back in. 2 morning blocks before lunch will outperform 6 scattered hours all day. Write this down. Meetings after makers. Deep work before you open the door. Guard the morning for creation. Place conversations in the afternoon for coordination. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart. In this age, guarding your heart includes guarding your calendar. Build guardrails. Pre-decide office hours. Pre-decide email windows. Pre-decide that urgent for others is not always assignment for you. John 7:6, my time has not yet come. That is Jesus declining a good opportunity to keep a God assignment. Do not try to please everyone. Protect your plans, or your plans will not protect you. If a meeting does not move the mission, it does not move onto your morning. Evening review seals the stewardship. Psalm 4:4 says, meditate in your heart upon your bed and be still. Account for your hours. What did you buy today? Celebrate obedience. Confess waste. Revalue what was devalued. Move tomorrow's big 3 onto the calendar with fresh fences. Proverbs 27:23. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks. Your flock is your minutes. Audit them. Adjust. Then sleep as stewardship, not escape. Lamentations 3:23. New mercies at dawn. Wake up tomorrow. Compass set. Big 3 chosen. Blocks protected. Redeem the time. Write this down. Your calendar is a door and your contacts are keys. Whoever holds keys controls your hours. Read out loud, go. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. 1 Corinthians 15:33. I add this. Bad company corrupts good calendars. People don't just shape your morals, they mortgage your minutes. Guarding your associations is guarding your assignment's time. Redeem the time. Audit your relationships. Who multiplies your focus and who mortgages your minutes? Who enters your life and you produce more? Who enters and your day dissolves? Write this down. Love is commanded. Access is managed. We honor all. We grant access to the aligned. Jesus loved crowds, but gave calendar to the called. He had multitudes, 70, 12, 3, and 1. That is not favoritism. That is stewardship. Purpose sets circles. Access must answer assignment. Amos 3:3 asks, can two walk together unless they are agreed? If we cannot agree on mission, we cannot agree on meetings. Do not try to please everyone. Please your assignment. Galatians 1:10 says, if I seek to please men, I am not the servant of Christ. People pleasing is calendar theft, dressed like kindness. Manipulation will guilt you into meetings God never authorized. Learn holy phrases. I love you, but no. That is good, but not my assignment. My time is allocated to what God asked me to build. Nehemiah said, I am doing a great work and cannot come down. That is not arrogance, that is alignment. Write this down. When you protect your purpose, you protect the people your purpose will serve. Here is your protocol. 1. Set office hours. If you are always available, you are rarely effective. Availability without boundaries is irresponsibility with your calling. 2. Set response windows. Emails get checked at set times. Messages get replies within defined hours. Emergencies have numbers, opinions have patience. 3. Appoint gatekeepers, an assistant, an autoresponder, a scheduling link. These are not walls. They are doors with ushers. No agenda, no attendance. If a meeting has no deliverable, it has no right to your morning. 4. Define access lanes. Family, mentors, and mission-critical partners have green lights. Casual acquaintances have yellow lights. Schedule it. Chronic drainers have red lights. Pray for them from a distance. Proverbs 13:20 says, he who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. Suffered harm looks like a hijacked week. Write this down. Evaluate relationships by fruit, not feelings. Ask, what evidence did this association produce in the last quarter? If the answer is drama, delay, and distraction, you are paying interest on a deficit friendship. If the answer is courage, clarity, and competence, increase the limit, invest more time. Honor is universal. Access is strategic. This is not cruelty. This is covenant with your calling. In the next 7 days, clean your contact list. Unsubscribe from noise. Move some people from phone to email, from instant to schedule. Publish your office hours. Install your gatekeeper. And then watch what happens. Your peace will rise. Your focus will compound. Your outcomes will accelerate. Wake up. Redeem the time. Guard your associations. And you will guard the hours God gave you to build what He birthed in you. Write this down. Your calendar is not a diary. It is a covenant. What you place on it is what you promise God you will honor. That covenant is incomplete without Sabbath and margin. Read out loud. Go. And on the 7th day, God ended His work which He had made. And He rested on the 7th day. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it. Genesis 2:2-3. God rested. Not because He was tired, because He was finished. Rest is not laziness. It is lordship over labor. Rest says, work is my assignment, not my idol. The clock does not command me. I steward the clock under God. Jesus amplifies the mercy. Mark 2:27. The Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. Write this down. Rhythm is mercy, not bondage. Sabbath is a gift, not a shackle. It is God's way of building recovery into responsibility, breathing space into burden, worship into work. When you calendar Sabbath, you are not losing time, you are lubricating productivity. Oil the engine and the miles multiply. Ignore the oil and the engine seizes. Redeem the time. Margin is holiness and white space. Block it. Guard it. Name it. Thinking, transition, recovery, buffer. Write this down. Margin multiplies output by preventing meltdown. If your day is stacked back to back, you are living beyond your anointing and beneath your potential. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Seasons require spacing. Plants don't bloom every hour. They rest, root, and reach in rhythm. Your destiny requires the same cadence. Expand and exhale. Push and pause. Build and behold. Honor your season to mature your results. Sleep is stewardship. Hear me. Tired minds make expensive mistakes with cheap minutes. You save an hour at midnight and lose a month in errors. Psalm 127:2 says, He gives His beloved sleep. Receive it. Schedule it. Protect it. Set a digital sunset. Dim the lights. Put the phone in another room. Decide your tomorrow tonight. Then rest as an act of faith. Write this down. Rest is trust that God works when I sleep and works through me when I wake. Wake up by going to bed on time. Redeem the time by restoring the temple. Here's your practice. Weekly, block one full Sabbath, 24 hours of worship, wonder, and renewal. No production, only presence. Daily, insert 2 margins. A 30-minute white space mid-morning and 30 minutes late afternoon for transitions and thinking. Between meetings, 1 0-minute buffers to end well and begin wise. Every evening, a shutdown ritual. Review, release, rejoice, then lights out at a consistent hour. This is not softness. This is strategy. Do not try to please everyone with constant availability. Please your assignment with sustainable vitality. Write this down. Rest and margin are stewardship strategies that multiply effectiveness and sustain destiny. When you honor God's rhythm, your work gains weight. When you sanctify white space, your words carry wisdom. When you sleep in faith, you wake in focus. Calendar as covenant, Sabbath on it, margin around it, maturity through it. Wake up, redeem the time. And let your rest preach that God is Lord of your labor and Lord of your life. Write this down. Not every need is your assignment. Wisdom is compassion with boundaries. Read out loud. Go. My time is not yet come. John 7:6. That is Jesus speaking to good people with a good idea at the wrong time. Even good work has a right time. Purpose sets pace. Timing is truth. If the Son of God could say not yet, you must learn to say not now. Wake up. Redeem the time. Study His pattern. He left crowds to pray. Luke 5:16 says, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. When the disciples wanted to capitalize on momentum, He answered, let us go somewhere else. That is why I have come. Mark 1:38. He healed many. Mark 1:34. But He did not stand in the square until every voice was satisfied. Purpose governed His access. Kingdom compassion is not chaos. It is calibrated by calling. Do not try to please everyone. Please your assignment so your assignment can bless everyone you were sent to serve. Write this down. Give with discretion. Proverbs 3:27 says, do not withhold good from those to whom it is due when it is in your power to act. Your power includes your purpose, your timing, and your capacity. Compassion is not measured by exhaustion. It is measured by obedience. So create a generosity budget for money and for minutes. Decide in advance how much of your week is allocated to benevolence, mentoring, and interruptions you will embrace as ministry. For example, set aside 2 6-0-minute windows each week for unplanned care and a monthly financial portion for needs beyond your regular giving. When the budget is full, you are not heartless. You are honest. You are preserving the well so you can keep giving water. Here are your filters for requests, and I want you to use them before you say yes. Alignment. Does this request advance the vision God gave me? Timing. Is this the right season and hour? Or does it trespass on Sabbath, family, or my big 3? Cost and hours. Exactly how many hours will this year spend, including prep, travel, and follow-up? Unique assignment fit. Am I the right person for this, or am I robbing someone else's lane by trying to be everyone's savior? Philippians 1:9-10 prays that our love may abound more and more in knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve what is excellent. Love needs discernment. Approval must be for what is excellent, not merely available. If it aligns, but the timing is wrong, schedule it. If the timing works but alignment is big, seek clarity or decline. If the cost in hours bankrupts your quarter's outcomes, refer it. If it is not your unique fit, recommend the right person. Write this down. Your yes is a purchase order. Only buy what builds your destiny. Say, I care, and here is a time that honors my commitments. Or I love you, but this is not my assignment. Or here is a person better graced for this need. That is not rejection. That is redirection under purpose. Compassion without boundaries breeds resentment. Compassion with wisdom breeds fruit. Ephesians 5 says, be careful how you live, redeeming the time. Be careful with your yes. Generous in spirit, strategic in schedule, soft heart, strong spine. Wake up. Redeem the time. And let your mercy flow through channels your Maker designed, so you never help in a way that hurts your calling or withhold in a way that starves your neighbor. Write this down. Your yes is a purchase order. Every yes spends hours. Read out loud, go, let your yes be yes and your no, no. Matthew 5:37. That is Jesus teaching integrity in decisions. Integrity is not just honesty with words, it is stewardship with hours. Ephesians 5 says, be careful how you live. Redeem the time. So before you say yes, install a filter. 5 questions. Purpose, season, strengths, stewardship, schedule. Ask them in that order. And do not negotiate with clarity. Purpose. Does this fit the assignment God gave me? If it does not advance the vision, it is a distraction with a smile. Season. Is this the right time? Ecclesiastes 3 declares a time for every purpose. Good things in a bad season become burdens. Strengths. Does this require my unique grace, or can another faithful person do it better or cheaper in hours? 1 Corinthians 12 teaches diverse gifts. Honor your lane. Stewardship. Will this decision multiply or deplete the resources God entrusted: energy, finances, family bandwidth, spiritual focus? It is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Where specifically does it fit on the calendar without trespassing on Sabbath, victory, or existing covenants? If it has no slot, it has no right. Count the cost in hours before you say yes. Read out loud, go. Which of you, intending to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost? Luke 14:28. Cost is not only money. Cost is minutes, prep, travel, execution, follow-up, fatigue, opportunity. Cost is real currency. Every yes is a simultaneous no to something God already told you to build. Ask, what am I unwilling to forfeit to fund this yes? Here are your 3 holy words that protect destiny. Delegate, defer, decline. Delegate what fits the vision, but not your strengths. Empower the right person and stay accountable for outcomes, not activities. Defer what fits purpose and strengths, but violates season. Schedule it in its proper quarter. Decline what does not serve your assignment without apology. Galatians 1:10 confronts us again. Do not try to please everyone. Please the one who assigned you. Document decisions. If it is not on the calendar, it is not a commitment. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision. Make it plain. Make it dated. Put names, times, deliverables, and review dates. No agenda, no attendance. No date, no destiny. Rehearse this boundary until it is muscle memory. Thank you. That doesn't fit my assignment right now. I'm honored. Here is a person better graced. Yes, and here is the date and the hours it will occupy. Soft heart, strong spine. Wake up, redeem the time. Buy only what builds your destiny. Now we seal it. Write this down. Make a covenant with your calendar. 490 day sprints. 1 major outcome per sprint. Start the first today, not Monday. Not when you feel ready. Today. Choose the outcome that most advances your assignment. 1 you can photograph, present, or deliver. Date it. Define its milestones. Block the hours. If Q1 ends March 31, then the mid-milestones live on February 15 and March 10. Count the cost in hours and purchase those hours in advance. Put 5, 9, 0-minute focus blocks per week on the calendar with names, not wishes. Module 3 done. Chapter 4 drafted. Clients 1-5 served with deliverables sent. If it is not dated, it is fantasy. Date your destiny. Redeem the time. Install a weekly review or your covenant will leak. Set a sacred 45 minutes the same day and hour every week, Sunday evening or early Monday morning. This is your stewardship seat. Measure, celebrate, prune, and plan. Measure. Pull the numbers. How many hours did you invest? What tangible outputs moved? Celebrate. Gratitude powers. Perseverance. Mark the wins God gave and the discipline you kept. Prune. What meetings or habits did not bear fruit? Cut them before they colonize another week. Plan. Set your next big 3 for each day. Refresh your focus blocks. Confirm your Sabbath and margins. No review, no renewal. Write this down. What you do weekly compounds. What you do daily. Redeem the time. Accountability makes covenants credible. Choose a partner or a small team aligned to purpose. Agree to a 2-0-minute weekly check-in with a scoreboard. Report purchases, not promises. Hours bought towards certification. 7. Practice tests completed. 3. Discretionary screen time eliminated. 4 hours reclaimed. Pages written 12. Meetings declined. 2. Sabbath honored. 1. No fog, only facts. If you miss, confess, forgive, and adjust the plan, not the vision. Ecclesiastes says there is a time for every purpose. Your partner helps you keep that time. Do not try to please everyone. Please your assignment by being accountable to it. Now, lift your voice and seal it. Read out loud. Go. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Ephesians 5:15-17. We agree with this word. We will be careful. We will be wise. We will redeem the time. We will understand and obey the Lord's will for our hours. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The days are evil, but our minutes are negotiable under God. Final charge. What are you going to buy with the next 12 months? By December 31, what will you present? Write it down now. Assign it to a quarter. Block this week's first hours. Text your accountability partner. Schedule your weekly review. Announce your Sabbath. Then begin today, not with noise, but with a named, dated outcome. Purchase in focus hours. Make a covenant with your calendar. Redeem the time. And on December 31, present your receipts with joy.